What's up, dudes? It's ET13 and welcome back to another video. And today I'm giving you a discussion video where I really just talk to you about something I feel. This will be the first discussion I've done, and I may do a few others in the future, but today's regarding the latest news of Disney and Fox officially going through. And this is something I've thought about long and hard, and I think people in the Godzilla community may not realize this. So, Sony is in talks about selling. They have said that they're probably the next big motion picture company to go, which we don't know when that'll be, but we know that will happen. Here's what I'm worried about. Sony owns the rights to legitimately half of the Godzilla franchise. That scares me, because if Sony does sell to Apple, I don't think Apple will treat those properties with respect. What would be the best case scenario is Criterion gets a hold of them, but I don't know if Criterion wants to get a hold of the whole Godzilla franchise, because you're still missing 84 and 85 with Kraken and New World Cinema, Miramax and Godzilla vs. Biollante, and then, of course, the Tokyo Shock movies. Not, of course, Destroy All Monsters or Godzilla vs. Megalon, but like the other movies like Atragon and all that. And then, of course, you got Universal and then the other Kraken movies. So, I'm kind of nervous that they're so excited to see Sony sell because of Spider-Man. And I admit, that's amazing. Spider-Man, Ghostbusters, Men in Black, all of those are great franchises that could do more. But with Sony owning the Godzilla movies, I don't know how I feel. Because Apple will not give it respect. Apple's going to throw it on their streaming service, even though I think you can already watch them on that. So it's not going to be a surprise there. And then such as Paramount. Paramount has nothing to do with those. Same with Universal. Universal just become what we know about Universal. They'll take the rights, they'll keep Blu-ray in print, and that'll be it. We won't see anything else. Maybe an occasional triple feature or double feature. And I'm really scared about this because I'm pretty sure they also own Classic Media that licensed Criterion most of the movies if they don't have the rights to them. And if that's the case, then having Sony legitimately own almost the entire franchise due to licensing, Criterion may not get the movies. Now, granted, it won't go through for a while because Sony's looking good still, but you haven't had many successes. Last year you had Jumanji, Venom, Spider-Verse. That's it, really. That's all the quote-unquote successful Sony movies, and you can't have that every year. You have to have lots of good, financially successful movies. Look at what Fox was doing. Fox didn't have very good numbers, and then they said, we are looking to sell. Disney bought them up. Now, again, I don't want Disney to own the rights to these Godzilla movies. That is not a good idea. Godzilla and Disney, that's bad news. Like I said, the best case scenario is Sony sells them to Criterion exclusively. Or, I'm not sure if it's the same thing with Spider-Man with Marvel, if the rights are non-transferable. Because if they are, I guarantee you that Toho will say, Criterion! Hey, I see you got a Showa box set over there. How would you like to own all the other movies except for the ones that we stupidly distributed to Kraken and Tokyo Shock and all them? And you know what? Tokyo Shock's going out of business. How would you like to have all those other movies? And then they would own those, and then we could possibly get a Varan the Unbelievable American and Japanese cut. And then maybe down the road, when Kraken stops distributing these, maybe we could get a Godzilla 84 or 85 box set. or not box set, but DVD. What would be amazing is if Toho goes to these companies and says, listen, you own the rights to these, but we want our movies back. They've been very verbal on how they want everything in-house and really everything owned by Toho. But I don't see Toho saying, oh, let's open up a studio company in America. That's not going to work. Best case scenario is maybe, and this is a very big maybe when the Warner Brothers Toho legendary deal ends, Warner Brothers isn't going to want to do another universe with Godzilla. They're going to want to continue on with the MonsterVerse, but not with Godzilla. What if they were to somehow make a deal with Universal, or maybe even Sony, and make a shared cinematic universe, the world of Godzilla they're discussing right now, and instead of that being a Japan exclusive, get a distributor that will distribute in America and worldwide, so Toho doesn't have to say, hey, we got this movie, how much do you want it for? Funimation, do you want it? Okay, you get the rights, because Funimation's owned by Sony. So, I would honestly love to see something like that happen. And then maybe there's a great connection from Toho to Sony, and then, boom, you have a new cinematic universe with Godzilla. Don't have to worry about anything. But, like I said, if Sony sells, I'm scared about these DVDs, because I don't want them to become a digital format only, because there's still plenty of people that want the DVDs and collect them. I know I do. I have almost every Sony Godzilla DVD release. So, to see this kind of scares me. And with their upcoming Godzilla 98 4K re-release and their Steelbook exclusively at Best Buy, this kind of gets me excited for what Sony could potentially have in the future. Especially with Godzilla getting more popular now. As of right now, we're looking at King of the Monsters, and then Godzilla vs. Kong, and then Toho's been verbal about how they want a movie every single year. Well, what are you going to do in 2021? Because you can't exactly say, oh, hey, we're going to do a live-action movie in summer of 2020 and get it out. Well, you could, I feel like it's kind of rushed. And I don't know how this could work, but I'm really to go back to what I was talking about, how Sony potentially selling in the far future with the Godzilla rights. Best case scenario, and this is as of right now, the best case scenario for them to do is call up Criterion and say, Criterion, how would you like to own the rights to all these Godzilla movies? And then they could actually work on getting a Toho Godzilla DVD collection, which I think would be amazing, because that would make it so much. It would be expensive, but it would be so much cheaper than buying every single DVD independently. And if they can load it with special features and commentaries and digitally restore, that would be amazing. Really and honestly, just amazing. And I wish that could be a thing. But let me know in the comments down below what you think of this. If you want Sony to sell and you don't care about the Godzilla rights, or really, what's your thoughts and views of this? I know this is kind of boring with one image, but this is more of a discussion. This is for you to just kick back and listen to, and then dwell on it yourself, because I'm going to try and pick topics that are actually thoughtful, like this one. I know this isn't very long, but I just felt like I should put out there that with Sony selling, we do have an issue if it does happen, and it will, unless Sony can find a way. Now, I do know that Sony's this big multimedia company. However, Sony's not going to hold on to a part of a a part of their company that's financially unsuccessful. They will not do that. And the same thing goes for cameras. If Sony cameras were to start bombing in price, they would close it down. There was already talks of Sony selling before, so I can see it happening very easily. But it won't happen for about 3 years at least. But yeah, like I said, comment down below what you think of this, if you are scared of this, or what you would really like to happen with the Godzilla DVDs. As I've said, I've always enjoyed reading your comments, and yeah, like I said, comment down below. If you don't know what movies they own Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, Godzilla and Mothra, The Battle for Earth, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, Godzilla vs. Destroya, Rebirth of Mothra 1, 2, and 3, Godzilla 98, Godzilla 2000 vs. Megaguirus, GMK against Mechagodzilla, Tokyo SOS, Godzilla Final Wars, and Shin Godzilla. Now, if Funimation picks up the rights to distribute on DVD the Godzilla animes, they would own those too, but I could see a Netflix Blu-ray DVD release for those in about a year or so. And then, like I said, I'm pretty sure that Sony owns Classic Media, so to add on, you have Godzilla 54, Godzilla Raids Again, Rodan, War of the Gargantuas, Mothra vs. Godzilla, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, Invasion of Astro Monster, All Monsters Attack, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 74, Son of Godzilla, and Terror of Mechagodzilla. If it's true that they own Classic Media. Now, I'm not sure about vs. Mechagodzilla 74 and Son of Godzilla, because Sony owned the rights to those before, and then they went out of print, so maybe they lost the rights to those, and Criterion officially owns those rights completely. Same with Godzilla vs. Megalon and Destroy All Monsters. But I'm kind of scared if this does happen, because I want these to go to a good place, and like I said, best case scenario for me would be Criterion, because they will do those movies justice. Now, granted, we're still waiting after almost 2 years come November for these Criterion home video releases. I'm hoping with the launch of the Criterion streaming app that these come out in July. These need to be out soon, because with King of the Monsters, people are going to want to see these older films, and they have no way, because some of these are out of print and they're very expensive. So, as always, this has been fun. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want me to do more discussion videos and really dwell on these yourselves, comment down below and let me know. I kind of like this because it's putting my input and ideas out there for people to think about. So, yeah, comment down below what you think. I know I've said that now 4 times, but you guys know I like to read comments and interact with you guys. So, as always, don't let King Kong make a monkey out of you, G-fans. See ya.